Hello tubers and groovers, welcome to this edition of Take the Fear Out of the Gear with me, Jason Bangers.
And me, Mr. Chumley Warner.
Today we are talking about
It's a Behringer RD9.
check we. It's a very nice drum machine. Now we haven't had one yet, so we've not had a chance to bring one to them, have we, Si?
And we've taken our own advice.
So we have literally taken our own advice, right? We said they're cheap, go and buy them, and that's exactly what's been done on this channel. So just so as we can show it to you guys, been and bought one. More specifically, Simon has. I've got to say, right off the bat, I love it.
It's Behringer's take on obviously the famous Roland TR909.
Yeah, let's get that. Sorry, I barred him. Let's get this straight because I'm fed up of looking at videos on YouTube. So, seeing this being compared with the 09, and I'm screaming at the screen saying, no, it's a 909 rip-off. It's not a 09 rip-off. Now, you might say, but the 09 is a rip-off of the 909. But more specifically, this is a copy of the 909, is that not correct?
Yeah, because Roland, obviously the original was the TR909, then Roland brought out the 09, which is basically one of their analogue circuit behaviour modelled one. But this is an actual sort of clone with the analogue circuits and the digital circuits in it, so it's going to be closer.
It's oranges and apples, man.
Yeah.
And there's so many videos of guys comparing these to an 09, but this is a 909 copy drum machine. Now, another thing that gets my goat is when people are doing comparisons and they're going, well, it's not quite the same, and they're tweaking it to make the same sound. Let's just say we had two original 909s, right? Neither of them would sound identical. They would sound different. So let's keep that in mind as well. I'm having a bit of a moan today. It's just that we've been watching videos and I'm like, yeah, but come on. If you had two mini Moogs together, they wouldn't sound exactly the same. You'll never get the same.
No, because they're old. We'll come on to all this in a minute, but when stuff is old, the sound changes over time.
Well, and as we say, Simon, with all things like this, people don't want to hear us jibber jabber. They want to hear the things. So shall we play them some stuff?
Well, let's. This is a bit of a hard one because if you haven't got the bass line or vocals or anything, we've got 4 drum beats.
I didn't get a single one.
So we'll see if you can guess the drum beat and then put it in the comments. It's quite difficult.
It's very difficult. I didn't get a single one. I didn't get one of them.
So yeah, number one. This was like a poppy sort of dance one, which was in the charts just to give you a few years ago.
And it was done with a 909.
It was, yeah. So here's the pattern.
Which could be one of a million songs, really. But
number 2. Oh, I think this one's slightly easier.
Yeah.
This was in the charts. Very famous band. See if you can.
When was it in the charts?
Oh, I don't know the exact years. Probably I would say 90s. And it's got a good groove to it. You'll probably get this one.
Yeah, I've got that one, I think.
And then number 3, another British group. We'll give you a clue on this one. This one's all about faith. So have a listen to this one.
Did you get it?
Number 4, this is kind of a slow ballad from a British guy, very famous British guy.
Yeah, it's got his name written all over it, actually.
And he was before he did his solo, he was in a group, so that's about as much as we can give you. Have a listen to this one.
Well, I mean, the minute I heard that, I knew exactly who it was, but I didn't know what song it was, and still not sure if I do know the song, but yeah, it's got his name written all over it. So I've got to ask you then, Simon, when you programmed these patterns in, how was it?
Oh, it's easy.
It is easy.
Yeah.
Easy to use, yeah. And I would say on that note, it's stat time.
It's stat time. Chumley stats.
It's that time again, Mr. Chumley.
It is
Warner.
that time. So let's give you a bit of background why this was conceived in the first place.
Well, I would say it was obvious, but because
Yeah.
they wanted a 909 that you can afford.
Exactly right. So as Jay said, if you don't know, we'll say anyway, it is based on the Roland TR909. And do you know when the original 909 came out, dude?
Oh man, it was 80s, wasn't it?
It was 80s, yep.
Yeah, I'm going to go 87, and I think I'm too far ahead.
Not far. So they came out in 1984,
Yeah, I was too far ahead. Yeah.
and they were only produced for 2 years.
That's crazy.
Because they were a bit like the 808, they were a flop.
Yeah.
They weren't well received. Obviously, the status has changed now.
Yeah.
So, prices and that, they're very expensive. But, yeah, so Behringer thought, well, let's clone it. Let's do the RD9.
Well, what's the cost of a 909 today?
Have a guess.
$3,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy money.
So, we might as well talk about price, yeah. So, this one, so originally, these were just over 300.
Yeah.
And if you've seen our video on the Behringer bargains, these are 235.
That's crazily cheap. I mean, you still spend that on an SR16, you know. Well, apples and oranges again, but I'd rather have this, you know.
And you know, as Jay says, the price of the 909s, this is like probably 10 times or more less than the price of a 909.
Made exactly the same. Now I've got to ask. I guess it's analog, is it?
Well,
Was it digital like the 909 was? I'm not sure.
Well, the 909, which was the same as this, it's a hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of the bass drum, snare drum, they're all analog sounds.
Okay.
And then like the cymbals and some of the other sounds were
Samples, that's right.
So and Behringer have done exactly the same.
And you are getting for your money, guys, a carbon copy. I mean, we can't stress enough. We're so into this. Behringer gear was crap years and years and years ago until they teamed up with this super factory that they've got now and all these other people on board. Turbo Sound, TC Electronics, Clark Technics, goes on and on and on the list.
Yeah.
Now they've got these guys together. This stuff they're making is second to nothing. I tell you, we can't rate it enough. So when you buy one of these at a fraction of the price, you're getting something newer, something reliable, and it will stay in tune, unlike probably a 909 would.
I don't know, the 909s, it's just the components start to go. And
Yeah, of course so. You know, after all
stuff
these
like
years.
that. My one needs a service. So if you want us to have a rough comparison, we can do that for you.
Put the two together.
So what have you got then? So like as we just said, it's a classic analog digital drum machine with some of the sounds analog, some of the sounds digital. You've got 11 different sounds. Let's have a look: bass, snare, low tom, mid tom, high tom, clap, rim shot, closed hat, open hat, and you've got a ride cymbal and a crash. So they're your 11 sounds. You've got a 64-step sequencer.
Really? That's a big amount. Yeah.
You've got 10 individual outputs.
Have you?
Yeah, so you
So you can record them on separate tracks and mix them separately?
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about getting the mix bang on the machine.
No, you can take it out to your mixing desk or your interface, whatever you want to do.
Put it in your door.
And the upgrade on the original 909, they've got this bit here, which is called the Wave Designer. So I think this sort of Wave Designer is a bit like a compressor.
Okay.
But you've also got like a filter here. You've got a high pass, low pass filter, and you can actually automate that in your patterns.
Can you?
You can record the filter movements.
Oh wow.
So if you're doing a hi-hat and you want it to sweep or you want it to, you can do that.
But no motorised faders though, guys. Or
No.
Just the digital pattern.
So you've got 16 songs you can store, and that gives you 256 patterns.
That's pretty damn good.
So
It's enough, isn't it?
it's plenty. You
Yeah,
probably
that's
need a whole of your lifetime to program that much stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can use it with the Behringer Synth Try app, and you can import and export songs and patterns.
And update firmware as well.
Yeah. You got your MIDI in and out with a 5-pin DINs. You got USB as well. On the front here, you've got 4 sync options. So at the moment it's on internal. You can sync via MIDI, USB.
The trigger.
It's got the analog triggers as well. And I think that's about it, because we've discussed the price, and that is the bargain.
Well, one thing to note though is there's no foot pedal sockets, which would have been nice just to have had a start and a stop. But to keep in tradition with the old stuff, they want to make them as much as close to the originals as possible, I guess.
Yeah, there is obviously we said about this analog filter wave designer. Plus, what they've also done, they've added on some of the instruments and that. There's extra pots.
I like
it. There's actually more you can do with it.
Yeah, and you can literally tune every individual instrument as you go in, can't you? Without going into algorithms.
And there is when you hit the settings button here, I don't know if you can see, there's all the settings here like MIDI, USB, clock, filter, preferences. There's all these things here, and you can switch it between two modes. So you can have it completely original mode, or you can have it enhanced mode, where you've got all these extra features, and so there's so many options on it. You can repeat steps, you can repeat notes. This is your length of your pattern length. So you can go from 16, 32, 48, 64. Here's your tempo. You can put your swing, and then you've got something called probability, which is, and you can set it to say on the hi-hat, the probability of it playing that hi-hat.
Okay. So like a random thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then, as on the original 909, you've got the flam.
Oh, cool.
So you can do flams as well.
Yeah.
So there's an awful lot of stuff for your money.
Now, these have been out for a while now. We've only just got one, so but I think we might have mentioned them on our bargains. Right now, they're just over 200 quid. It's an absolute steal. You should get yourself one. They're awesome things to have.
Well, if you always wanted a 909,
yeah,
this it's a no-brainer. Really, it's so cheap, and it's not going to be exactly the same, but it's the closest thing you'll get for that kind of money.
So there you have it. Basically, a brand new 909 for just over 200 quid. You've got to be crazy not to have one, guys. This has been Take the Fear Out of Gear. Thanks for watching. I've been Jason Bangers.
And I've been Mr. Chumley Warner.
Please subscribe.
Like, tell all your friends.
And hit that bell for notifications. It makes all the difference to us, because we're getting close to 3,000 subscribers, guys. Thanks to you. I think we only need about another 50 subscribers or so.
So if you can tell all your friends, please do.
That'd be great. Just get us up to 3,000 subscribers. We'd be well chuffed with that. So we'll see you on the next one. You take care now and be safe. Look after yourselves, guys. Ciao for now.